Okay, man, what a crazy show. So we're gonna go back to November 2nd, right across from Yale University. Like literally, like there's Yale across the street. There's Toad's Place, which, by the way, really cool fucking venue, in Connecticut, and Biohazard, classic lineup. And I got to see these guys back in the '90s at Birch Hill, and man, what a riot that fucking show was. It was a rough show. It was a scary show. Um, so they're doing this show. They're playing with Onyx, which for me was a huge deal because when Biohazard and Onyx did that Slam Judgment Night thing, that was really cool shit. And save you a second, they didn't do Slam together. They did Judgment Night. God, but and then Bayway, right? Hardcore from New Jersey, kind of straightforward hardcore. And then Swollen Teeth. A lot of people have kind of, said that they have a Slipknot vibe, mask and jumpsuit type of thing. I don't even want to. I don't think that they're Slipknot, but anyway, so they are. It's definitely like a punky new metal thing with kind of the electronics, of keyboard and man, there's something else to it. I definitely wouldn't say just new metal. That sounds like punk. Anyway, so they had a really good chaotic set, right? The crowd there didn't know what to make of them, and the vocalist was like in the crowd, and it was definitely rowdy. Oh, sorry. The opener band was Dead by Wednesday. I guess a local band, kind of a groove metal type of thing. They didn't really do anything for me, but a lot of people seem to know them, including the other musicians. So, and definitely some diehards in the crowd, so that's cool. Good for them. But then, yeah, Swollen Teeth came on, and it was right. They were the odd man out for the night. Really, even more out of right. The rest of the bands were like metal, and Onyx was obviously rap and hip hop. But man, I feel like Swollen Teeth was almost further away than they were. So, but really good energy, a lot of fun. It was their first tour ever. So I'm glad I got to see it. I'll be real curious the direction they go next, because I think the next thing they do is going to be like the career make or break point. But check them out. You may not like them, but I think they're worth seeing. And then Bayway came up next, and a lot of hype came across like my kind of social media dashboard about Bayway shortly before seeing them. So it was an interesting timing. As far as hardcore goes, I love supporting the scene and the bands. I think for my taste, Bayway was just a little bit too straightforward hardcore. So I probably wouldn't really check them out much, but no respect lost. Like those guys, they know how to put on the show. They have good stage presence, and the crowd was definitely hyped to see them. So yeah, go check them out. I think that you're probably going to hear more of Bayway in the near future. Onyx was up next. Now, I've gotten to see Onyx once before, and it wasn't terribly long ago. It was just 2 or 3 years ago. And they had good energy, but the crowd that night just wasn't paying them any kind of real respect. So I feel like they felt that energy, and it kind of threw their night off. This time, though, they were there as a very key element to this concert, and right, it's just really the 2 members now and the DJ. And if you haven't been to a rap and hip hop show, they are very different, not just musically, but kind of the playthrough of songs. And out of the ones I've been to, there's not a lot of complete songs. It's kind of like a DJ mix. So you get kind of like half a song or the core part of a song. And they did a lot of their album, or all of their album, Back the Fuck Up. and it was definitely more intense. It was definitely more energetic, and it was definitely they knew they were playing to a metal crowd, but they didn't like betray who they were or their style or anything. They just gave it a little bit of a, I'll say, sharper edge, and Onyx was pretty aggressive back in the day, so it was a really cool thing to see live. They talked about metal more, but it was like it was a respectful, like, hey, we like being a part of this without being a part of it. You know what I mean? So they did great. They played for a while, and then Biohazard came back on. So their new album, right? Definitely, a lot of people are digging it, and you know, older now, but the intensity was still there in their passion to play. Just the aggression piece, I feel like, was a little bit different. So getting to see them in the '90s, where it was like, holy shit, right? I'm a little bit scared at this show. To seeing them now, was saying, man, these guys still love what they do, but it's a different speed isn't the right word, but it's a different presentation of this aggressive ass-kicking music. So they did have Onyx come out and do Judgment Night with them, and they delivered. The crowd was happy. I mean, and they played a really good set full of not just hits, but songs that people wanted to hear. So I feel like it was a really cool thing to say 30 years later, I'm in a different spot in my life. These guys are in a different spot in their life, but they're still delivering in a way that, you know, only really Biohazard can, you know. So it was a good show. It was a good show that had a lot of different elements, and, you know, frankly, it was, again, I feel like it was an important show because bands like Biohazard are pillars, and we're not seeing a lot of new pillars yet. We're not seeing this kind of integrity and truth that bands like Biohazard brought up. We're seeing a lot of production, I feel like. And I know that could be a harsh judgment of the current music scene, and I'm not a musician, I'm not a performer, I don't know what it's like to do what they do, but I know what I'm seeing. And I know that bands like Biohazard are, right, fewer and more far between. And so I think that was a really good thing to see. So we'll see what happens. You know, I don't know what Onyx's plans are. I don't know what Bayway's plans are, Swollen Teeth. I don't know what these other bands are going to do. But I know that Biohazard, as that night was, showed that they have life in them that they want to share with others. So go see Biohazard. Go tear it up with your friends. Go do some dancing. And go have a blast. So videos down below. Check them out. Let me know what you think. Well, I guess you don't have to let me know what you think, but check them out. And yeah, until next time.